All right, so I am playing a new brew today. This is Selesnya Counters. So you've seen me play some counter-based strategies beforehand. One of them was already in the green color pie with hardened scales. Today we are doing what is essentially a smashing together of a couple of decks that I've played, namely this token 1-1 counter-based strategy. We're kind of combining that with a fight rigging type effect. Whereas in the past, you've seen me play fight rigging as a way to cheat out large creatures. Today, we're going to see if we can break the ability on it. So, as you might have guessed from the title of this video, we're working with 1-1 counters and looking for ways to abuse them. So, hardened scales is kind of the first place that you look for things like this. We're looking for when 1-1 counters would be put onto creatures, we get to essentially double that. But it's not a true double. You see, if we're putting 2 or more counters onto a creature, it'll only get 3 or 4. It'll do n plus 1 instead of just doubling. So it's not like a doubling season, but for 1 mana, this is still a pretty good effect. So this kind of changes the way that we want to build the deck, right? We need to look for things that are going to repeatedly put 1-1 counters on, as opposed to putting many on at once. So Hardened Scales is a good thing. Pelt Collector is a surprisingly good card here because this thing can trigger many times. We have Stone Coil Serpents. This is just kind of a nice card because it can come in for X equals 1, and we are going to figure out ways to put more counters onto it, like with Fight Rigging. Fight Rigging, now that I mention it, is actually pretty good in this sense because this 1-1 counter is just 1 at a time, but it's repeatable. It's going to happen every combat. And so if we can make that work better with things like Hardened Scales, well, that's going to be great for us. We have Intrepid Adversary. This is a card that gets not 1-1 counters, but gets these Valor counters when it comes in. This is kind of like a one-of late-game threat for when we already have a pretty big board, and we have maybe 6 or 8 mana that we can dump into this thing. So if we're able to, put 3 counters on it, that'll buff maybe an already pretty dangerous board into something that can kill our opponent. Invasion of Gobakon is another really good 1-1 target. This gets one of our opponent's cards taxed in their hand at our choice, and when we are able to flip this thing, which generally can happen a pretty decent amount of the time, it turns into a thing that will repeatedly put 1-1 counters on our creatures, assuming that we are in a situation where we can attack. We also have 2 Luminarch Aspirants. This is another repeatable 1-1 counter machine that every combat is going to put a counter on the things that we control, or one thing that we control. And the 2 kind of build-around cards in this deck are going to be Conclave Mentor and Botanical Brawler. There are 2 only actual Selesnya cards here. And as you know, Selesnya generally does like this 1-1 counter kind of strategy. And if you look at Botanical Brawler, this is a 0/0 that enters with 2 counters on it, so those 2 counters will be quote-unquote put on this thing as it enters, so things like Hardened Scales will improve it. And this one is going to help this one basically has Hardened Scales text on it. So it will be replacing a Hardened Scale effect on the battlefield already, but that will, this thing is basically allowing us to play 8 copies of Hardened Scales, which is good. Plus this is on a creature that already does other good things, which is nice. If that wasn't enough, whenever you put counters on another creature, Botanical Brawler sees that and will get some counters on it itself. And to top it all off, it has Trample, so this is often the way that we go over the top and kill our opponent. Conclave Mentor also got another thing. Conclave Mentor is the one that has Hardened Scales text on it. Botanical Brawler is just a trample that looks for your other creatures getting counters on it and then gets counters itself. So Botanical Brawler, good once things are out. Conclave Mentor, more of the enabler out here. This is the one that gives you the Hardened Scales text, and when it dies, you gain life equal to its power. So it's a pretty good card. Basically, we're playing it as another Hardened Scales. As another endgame kind of thing, we have Always Watching as a 1-of. This basically gives all of our creatures 1/1 in Vigilance. When we're going really wide and big like this, not necessarily as wide as we're going big, it's really good to have our big creatures be able to defend as well. And then obviously Fight Rigging is pretty cool here. We want to find pretty much anything here in terms of what we're hideawaying to cast later, because the real utility of this card in this deck is the repeated 1/1 counters that it's going to give to stuff. When that 1/1 counter becomes give something +2/+2 permanently every combat, Fight Rigging becomes a pretty valuable card, I'd say. And then Collected Company needs no intro. We're playing CMC 3 or less creatures. Actually, everything is 2 or less. So, you know, we're going to generally hit this thing pretty well. And a lot of the things enter with counters on them, or we'll trigger and give more things counters. So we'll be Collected Companying at sorcery speed, which is generally not the way that we do things. But, you know, we want to hit the Luminarch Aspirants before they go to combat. We want to hit the brawlers to come in early and then to be able to trigger other brawlers and the pelt collectors. So we want to make sure that all that stuff happens before combat. So Collected Companies are not going to be that much of an instant speed effect this game, or in this series. And then finally, we have the Great Henge, a card that's just always been very good in green decks that have a lot of creatures and a lot of small ones at that. This is going to be discounted by how big we can make our creatures, so after a while this may be as low as 2 mana for a legendary artifact that itself can produce more mana and also gain us life. So Great Henge, pretty easy 2-of in this deck, and it also just kind of has the additional text that creatures will enter the battlefield with additional 1/1 counters on them. Or, well, okay, it's not exactly that. It's kind of good to make the distinction that if you were to play a Botanical Brawler, it would enter with 2 1/1 counters on it, which would trigger something. And then the Great Henge would trigger its activated ability and put another 1/1 counter on it. So technically this Botanical Brawler would be able to trigger something like a Pelt Collector. Or, well, not a Pelt Collector, but it could trigger another Botanical Brawler with the Great Henge ability. All of that blathering aside, we are a pretty tight 1/1 counter deck, and it is a fun deck to play at that. Our mana base is mostly Selesnya, and I think now that we're done with this, I've covered pretty much everything here. I guess Pelt Collector I didn't really mention effectively, but this thing's pretty good. It can also gain Trample, which is relevant. Now I think I'm done with the deck. That was a little bit all over the place, but I think we'll just get into some games, and you'll really quickly see what this deck can do. So let's hop in to round 1 and play some games. Here we go. Alright, round 1. Let's see what we can get. This is not terrible. I'll keep it. We do need to draw into some cards, but I have faith that we will be able to do it. Inquisition, so they're going to probably take Conclave Mentor. For me, I do that. Oh, they actually just take the Hardened Scales. It may be that they have another Inquisition in hand, and they're going to take either Stone Coil or Conclave. I think no matter what they take, I will hold here because a 2/2 Stone Coil will be better, and a Conclave Mentor, if they take the Stone Coil, will also be good. We'll pass. Okay, so it's a Waste Not. They're going to be making us discard today. That's okay. We will hope that Conclave Mentor will be able to make some big-ass Stone Coil Serpents soon. More Tiny Bones. Botanical Brawler, that is pretty solid. So we can do a Botanical Brawler and a Stone Coil Serpent on one. Swinging here with Tiny Bones. Here is Botanical Brawler. Here is Stone Coil for 1. That'll trigger a Botanical Brawler as well. Beautiful. 5/5 and a 2/2 for 3 mana. You'll love to see it. So an Edict effect now does not get rid of our Botanical Brawler because we played the Stone Coil. I'll discard 2 lands. We want to keep that Stone Coil Serpent. They get a lot of mana out of that. Maybe should have chosen this differently. Probably discarding 1 would have been smarter. Yeah, because now they get the Davriel. Alright. Well, that's something to think about when you play against some discard. It's fine. We do get to kill Davriel almost certainly.
All I've left you is pain.
Hardened Scales, sure. Let's move to combat, and we can swing here at Davriel. This most certainly just kills him. And then I have to decide if I'm okay trading a Stone Coil Serpent for something. They want to keep Davriel alive, okay. And because it has Trample, I can just deal 1 damage to this. Or, sorry, whoops. 2/1. Can I not, okay, maybe I'm not remembering how Trample works. I guess, wait, 1, 2, and then can I go down 1? I'm so confused. This is... I thought I was always able to deal, like, with trample damage, like 1 to something and then everything to the thing that it's attacking. Maybe I'm just wrong. We will do it like this then. That is so interesting. the way that this is, the way that this works in Arena. Okay, well, regardless, Davriel goes to 1. That's fine. Any discard from them is going to have to come from hand if I want to keep Davriel triggering on my turn. Oh, they just passed. Wow.
Struggling.
Let's go ahead and move to combat. 1 here. We're going to ensure that he's dead. So even through a removal spell. And then I'll decide to play this out because I don't want to essentially ramp them with Waste Not. Yeah, that does hurt. And so now we are kind of hellbent here. Hardened Scales, having 2 of those doesn't matter, so I'm fine to discard it. Turgid. We'll put this out. And now we're in trouble. Turgid's going to be a hard cookie to deal with. We need to draw one of our power spells here. So we discard Hardened Scales. They get to play it. So luckily Turgid's not going to do too much for them. Oh, this is going to be a problem. Liliana plus 1-ing, huh?
You think too much.
We have a henge that we can't cast, so we're going to end up discarding that, and then they'll have a henge. Wow, amazing. I think this one's probably just about done. Can't really think what I can hit. I mean, I guess I could just do some sort of Coco play. Yeah, I have to draw exactly Collected Company. Yeah, I have to get almost exactly Collected Company here. Yeah, Conclave Mentor, that won't work. Because now they can just block with Turgid and then +1 Liliana. Oh! They decide to attack, which means they're probably killing stuff. Well, they're killing me, so I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. Looks like they got us. Real quick game against discard. Let's move on to round 2. Here we go. Alright, round 2, starting up. We got double Collected Company. That might be good enough for me to just keep this hand. Snow-covered swamp is scary. I worry that my Stone Coil Serpent is not going to be in my hand for very long if I don't play it. It is discard again. So we'll kind of start out with Conclave Mentor once again. Get our Stone Coil out on 3 and then hold Collected Company up on 4. Okay, our henge is just 5 mana right now. Phyrexian Obliterator. Yikes. So, do I want to fight rigging or Collected Company? Well, if I make something that's too big, Phyrexian Obliterator just becomes an absolute problem for me. Branch Loft Pathway on white. Hold Collected Company. We don't really go wide enough to deal with Phyrexian Obliterator very well, I have to say. I will hold Collected Company. Alright, let's Collected Company in response. Find just 1. Yikes. What do I want to get rid of? I don't think they're gonna have flyers. Does make henge more expensive. I can sack my whole board for a Phyrexian Obliterator if I were trying to do that. Collected Company play again, I think, and then probably just fight rigging something to make it big. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna start the fight rigging plan. And then I think we do want Gobakon. Alright, next turn I can do the thing. Bruh. Get rid of this then. Okay, so I will not block here. We go to 9. 3. This can just go and tap. I have to collect the company. We get Pelt Collector, and we can't. We just have to take these two. Alright. We have creatures. We'll sack Pelt Collector if that's what they want me to do.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people
Discard.
touch
Okay,
my
I'll get rid of Always
drop it.
Watching. They draw up. Don't swing in. They were trying to protect their Liliana. Makes sense. I get my hedge out finally. And I will get a fight rigging. Alright, see what we can find here. Hardened Scales. This is just a replacement effect for that, so I'll just do another fight rigging. I'll move to combat, get a Botanical Brawler here, and cast fight rigging. We just need to start making one of these very big. I do want a Collected Company. Alright, so our next turn is pretty good. We just need to get to a point where our things are big enough and tramply enough that we can just go to face. So that is the end game that I'm going to be playing towards. I will get rid of Cult Collector. We need our board to survive one turn. If they Lily sack me, I'm gonna get rid of Mentor. Gain some
One of your
life.
friends has to leave.
Okay, we're gonna get really constrained here. They can attack with Obliterator here. That's just a bad trade for me, so I have to no blocks this. Oh, it's getting spicy here. Shieldred is neutralized by Great Henge, which is cool. Oof. Alright, so we can Collected Company here. I do get to kill Liliana most likely. And it's a potential just trade for Shieldred. Alright, move to combat. 7, 9. Can they remove this? They cannot. Collected Company. This will need to hit big. That's okay. I do draw off of Great Henge, which is maybe the most important part of all of this. Sure. We go to 2. And then for some reason I can't cast this Cleric. Oh, it's because I'm pre-combat or what? Is this not updating correctly? Yeah, that's why. Okay, so I have to go in like that and they can block. Yeah, so if they don't block, then it's bad for them. Okay, so they do block with Shieldred. Lose my Brawler, but I get my Conclave Mentor. Alright, I do get a free draw here. Fortunately ends in a land. Okay. We'll pass here, probably chumping with the Luminarch Aspirant. Discards a card, they get to make mana.
Don't overthink things.
They already have a lot of mana, so this doesn't really do too much for me. I'm fighting from 2 life. I pretty much have 4. Oh my god. Yeah, that'll do it for me, I think. What do they bring back? Another Phyrexian Vindicator? Yeah. They probably should have just taken a Shieldred, but... Ah, that's why they didn't do it. Okay. So, we have to draw exactly a creature right now. Or anything that produces a creature. That is a creature. Pelt Collector. Ooh. This is almost really, really good. I can go to 8. Resolves. So this is 2, 4, 6. So I can do this a bunch of times. Alright. Auto pay. Auto pay. Auto pay. Alright. Our stuff's big. Would I be okay with sacking 6 permanents here? Just maybe the lands? They make me sack something. Oh, that's a bummer.
Sacrifices must be made.
Oh, so now I have to sack 9 permanents. Alright, well. That's how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I can operate. Yeah, it actually has to be like that. Then like 7, 8, 9. Go to 1 land. Intrepid Adversary. Oh my gosh, the Phyrexian Obliterators have just been awful. Make some mana, sure. Oh, well, I see what I've done. That's really annoying. Play, yep. I just gotta be able to gain some more life. If they didn't have Liliana, I'd be doing a lot better. Okay, and now we're dead. I'll probably concede from there. Pretty hard fought battle there against Mono Black twice. I think the second time we came a lot closer though. Alright, we're on to round 3 where hopefully we can do our thing. Here we go. Round 3 coming up. Triple Hardened Scales says no. 6 from here. Probably get rid of one of the 1-drops maybe. Great Henge is kind of a far way off, so I'll get rid of that, even though I am sad to not have it. Alright, and we are in a situation of how do we draw a 3rd land? Please, God, let us draw a 3rd land. Okay, so we probably lose Fight Rigging here. Once again, it's Mono Black. This is incredible matchups for us. Who knew? Okay, so we are allowed to have our Stone Coil Serpent. I think that means I will drop this on 2. Draw that boy, the Pelt Collector. Get in. At least we have creatures. We kind of need to go quick here, I think. We thought sees away my collected company. Now we're in top deck mode. Oh, the Invasion of Gobekhan. That is actually huge for me. What do I get to take from them? So they have Edict, Liliana, and they have no land right now. So I probably just take Shieldred's Edict and then try to kill them before it gets too bad. We have to flip Gobekhan. I need to be able to survive a board wipe. And let's make our creatures bigger. I hope they didn't draw land. If they didn't draw land, which it doesn't seem like they did, then this is very good for us. Okay. Did we just dodge? Yep, so they could make mana. It doesn't really work here. Oh! Oh wow, very cool play there. So they did draw another land. It was a Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Oh man, I lose my collected company. That's so sad. I would have loved to draw that. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't because I needed that. I need to land. Alright, pop that out for 3. Get in there. Swinging with the boys, and opponent is dead next turn unless they find a land. And even then, it's going to have to be Liliana Edict. So it's Liliana Edict. Okay.
Those who get in my way
They
tend
can just
to
Edict me
regret.
twice. I should still be able to kill
One
them.
of your friends has to leave.
And then if this is the case, I don't care about them having another Liliana. Or I don't care about them plussing this Liliana, so I go to face. They're at 2. They have to remove 2 creatures now. They can discard if they have Waste Not. That means that they can have as much as 5 mana, and I don't want them to have that, so it's going to be Temple Garden out now. So they have to produce 2 blockers here, and I think we might have them. I can survive a board wipe. I think we're good. We do our turn. Swing in with the team. And I think the third try might just be the charm here. Opponent may have just alt F forward, and if that's the case, I guess I will just see you guys when I get to attack. Alright, and they are gone. We killed them finally. Took us 3 tries, but we were finally able to take down the discard deck. Kind of just took a quick start and good hand out of this deck. Alright, here comes round 4. Let's go. Alright, we got our round 4 coming up. Hand's got 3 mana sources and a pretty good curve, so I'll keep it. Hoping that we don't play yet another mono black discard deck because it'll be annoying losing my collected company, but we'll see. Alright, keeping this hand. Looks like opponent has also kept 7. Alright, set up this hand. Leyline of Sanctity, so target opponent. Unfortunately now that is a complete whiff. I'll play it once I have a board that can kill the invasion. So which, maybe I just play it on turn 3. That actually could work. And they should let it resolve, I think. Oh, this is the Priest of Possibility. This is a nutty deck. So, if you haven't seen this before, basically you just play this with a bunch of like cards that have so many keywords on them. So for example, you can tell by the keywords on this card right now that they found an Atraxa. So the idea of this deck is you just play Priest of Possibility, give it a bunch of things, and then kill your opponent before they can do anything about it. So, what do I do now? Probably just play a Botanical Brawler. We end up with a decent sized board. And unfortunately this has Vigilance, so I'm not sure how I will be getting through to my invasion. Might just have to be a fight rigging play. Yeah, I think I do fight rigging. Or do I? If I Stone Coil Serpent now, I do get wide enough for Invasion of Gobakon to be a potential play at the expense of one of these creatures. Yeah, because now any one of these can kill the Invasion, and also the Botanical Brawler does survive the Priest of Possibility. Okay. Well, the fact that it's indestructible means that I have to win now with Trample and just big creatures. I don't want to lose my Stone Coil Serpent. Once that thing gets a little bit bigger, I should be fine. Okay, here's what we wanted to be doing. Let's get Collected Company or Invasion. I think I'll do Conclave Mentor plus Invasion. Fortunately, can't target them, and I go 1, 2, 3 in. Probably just lose the Pelt Collector. That seems fine. Oh. Not how I expected that to go. And yeah, I'll do it like that. Cool, so the Botanical Brawler does actually survive. Crazy. So they messed that up. Alright, now my stuff gets big. Got a 9/9 now. Now this is something that can attack through Priest of Possibilities life gain. It's a Karn, probably getting Liquid Metal Coating. I can Fight Rigging out something or Collected Company now.
You will not threaten
I wonder what they Karned for. This is like not an easy choice if you're them. Pro green blue, okay. So this is some kind of mill deck with Priest of Possibility. What even is going on? I think I'll take 4. I'm not really worried about my life total. Oh, wait. Actually, yeah, Stone Coil Serpent has no color, so it's fine. Okay, move to my turn. 5 mana. If I Fight Rigging something good, then it's chill. If I don't, then Collected Company also kind of needs to hit something. Well, Fight Rigging makes something pretty large. Yeah, actually, you know what? If I do Fight Rigging, I can make Pelt... Ooh, yes, and I have Collected Company, so I get both, best of both worlds. So I'm going to move to combat, make Pelt Collector bigger. Collected Company is the play. We get some triggers. It's unfortunately just a Conclave Mentor. That's okay. So if they block with Priest, I can still kill Karn like this, and now I can go Botanical Brawler to face with Stone Coil Serpent to block. I should have attacked with the Conclave Mentor. Yep. And then, honestly, I wish I could do just 1 damage to the Priest, or like 0. Alright, they go to 11.
I will return.
And that's pretty good. Does this not have lifelink? Oh. I wonder what is it? Oh, this is not this is the white mana 8/8 thing, the dinosaur. Okay. So they didn't hit an Atraxa, they hit that dinosaur. The one with double strike. Yeah, okay, now I remember this. Okay. This is fine. We get a lot of replacement triggers here. Alright. Pro green blue, and oh, we're not totally dead. But I think we have them. Right? Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. So because we can block with this, we are good. And then this is trample, so they can deal at most 5. Cool. I will I could have blocked with Light Shield Array, I suppose. But it's fine. Yay. Go to 3, and then we attack out for the win. I do have just enough lands to survive. Gobakon, doesn't matter. Go. Put all these out. Stone Coil Serpent immediately dies. Pelt Collector with no triggers. But we can go ahead and give our ones with Trample enough to get through. Sweet. We'll attack all in, and opponent should die here. Cool. Even though it has protection, I do get to just go right through. Damn. Opponent's dead. This is a deck that I have always been thinking about playing for the channel. I'm not sure how I feel about the RNG required to get one of those into your hand in the first place, but if there's enough interest in the comments, maybe I will give it a try one day. I can put it into the queue. Regardless, that was our round 4, and we were finally able to do our thing. Let's hop into round 5 and try to do it one more time. Here we go. Alright, we're in the final round here, and we have actually not a bad hand. This is a pretty good hand, in fact. Hardened Scales into Luminarch Aspirant into Invasion, or Fight Rigging, depending on if I draw the land or not. Don't like seeing red on the other side of the table. Debating if I want Brawler instead. Maybe that should be the thing that eats up the damage that they throw at me. Let's add Harvester. Yeah. So I think I want this to go in first. That's a 3/3. It doesn't die to the Blood Tithe trigger immediately. Now I have a mana for Luminarch or Invasion. Bit of Reunion. So this is Reanimator. Okay, Galta Maverin. I wonder if this is vampires or not. Okay, so do I play a Fight Rigging to get around this potential block, or do I play an Invasion? I don't want to get into my opponent's hand, but I can curve out better if I play a 3-drop now. And then, do I want another Invasion or do I want a Henge? I want a Henge. Henge is far better. Swing in. So even another Harvester doesn't allow them to kill my Brawler. That means that my next turn is going to be great. Hardened Scales from the beginning really helping us out here. Ah, crap. Okay, so they had it. No matter, we can at least get into their hand a little bit. So they have Galta Galta, Path of Peril, Fable. Olivia is trying to reanimate stuff. I see the plan here. Path of Peril, though, is also really annoying. I think I'll just try to slowly get through their defenses. We'll make a sad Luminarch Aspirant that we know is going to eventually die. They have to spend their turn Fatal pushing this now. If they get greedy and go for a Fable, then I just absolutely destroy them here. Yep. That is a smart play by my opponent. I need a creature. I drew a creature, wow. Here's another Luminarch. So they have to now spend their next turn Path of Periling me. It's all okay. Draw 2, discard 2. So that means they didn't decide that they needed to Path of Peril me. This might be a very bad next turn for them. Okay, they can still Path of Peril. I hope they do a Fable. It's smart. It would be smart of them to do a Path of Peril, though. Nice. Okay. We're going to get double Fight Rigging off. Yeah, I think I want double Fight Rigging. Hideaway 5. Let's do an Invasion. Boom, boom, boom. That thing's getting huge. Invasion, let's go. Get rid of that Path of Peril. Temporarily, I guess. We get our Henge. Oh, I should have kept up a white mana. Well, now you know. And then I'll swing in here, and they'll trump block with something most likely. Cool. I'll just make some mana. Yeah, I should have absolutely held a white mana up there. Could I have done it? So it was 1, yeah, it was 3 to play the fight rigging, right? Yeah, so I just should have done it that way. Okay, yeah. Brushland, I would have been fine taking a life. Okay, so they attack here. They can Path of Peril. And I think they're gonna Path of Peril. Yep. It's fine. If I draw a land, I get both of these out. Intrepid Adversary. That's good too, I guess. Make some mana eventually. So let's do... Mentor doesn't matter. Do Mentor first. I can still do Intrepid Adversary paying 1. Oh no, I can't. It's annoying. Doesn't matter which way we do this. Here's a pathway. We'll play that on white since we have access to green now. And then... I care the most about having my things not die. They can play... They can't play an Olivia. Yeah, I'll do an Intrepid Adversary. And then I cannot play... Let me see what I draw first. Okay, so I do draw something that can eventually play some stuff. Alright, let's make these bigger. Let's make these bigger. Got to choose all these replacement effects. And now we have lifelink, so we should be able to stabilize our life total. See what they play. They are going to be trying to look for another Path of Peril. They have the mana to cast it. Bojuka Bog was one of the discards. That means they have a land. Can they wipe the board? Soren, okay. That's not in their hand, so they can't put it out. It's still end of turn, yeah. Okay, so play land, mentor. We'll have to start using this Great Henge. See if we can draw into some more creatures. Looks like we can. Alright, an opponent says they're out of there. This would have been non-trivial to dig my way out of. I do have to mention that because my opponent had the Sorin, which eventually would have been annoying. I probably would have ended up just going face. There was an idea in my mind where I would just try to flip both Gobakons so that I had removal, or I had protection against another Path of Peril. But ultimately, I think if I just started attacking and it's a 2-turn clock, they need 8 mana to cast Olivia, even if they do. So they would have had to draw a land or action. Yeah, that didn't feel very winnable for them. Alright, and so we finally won the long game as well. I think we've seen this deck do a good bit of what it's designed to do. Put a lot of counters on things. This one gets out of hand real quick, and you feel really powerful when it does work out. With the prevalence of removal, and specifically single target removal, I think you generally will have a hard time with this if you try to push rank with it. But hey, give it a try and tell me how it works out for you. With that being said, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you've been enjoying the content the past couple of weeks, do drop a like and subscribe to help grow the channel. It would mean a lot. Either way, thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.